And welcome back, everybody, to some more NECC esports action. We've got a good one for you coming up next. It's University of Montana, the Bulldogs, taking on the University of Alabama, the Crimson Tide. It's about to get spicy in here. My name is GrantCFO, and joining me in the booth is none other than the man himself. The Hypecast is back. Novanta is here.
I'm doing pretty well. No, I'm just saying I'm so hyped to be here, GrantCFO. Montana, Alabama, two really strong, formidable teams are going to clash. Can I call it the main event? I think I'm going to call it one of the main events here tonight. Why not?
Why not? You're right there. So we've got some interesting records to show here. A 3-0 for University of Montana in week number 1, but then an 0-3 loss in week number 2. They are split even on the record, but turning our attention over to the University of Alabama, we have a 3-1 victory in week number 1 and a 3-0 victory in week number 2. So you put just those 2 weeks together, heading into week 3, it looks like Alabama has the upper hand.
Yeah, and this sport is all about momentum. I can't stress that enough. But at the same time, perhaps almost paradoxically, every week is kind of different. You may have an off week. You can be a little slow on the pickup. So if you're Montana and you're hearing these stats, you still have a chance to come out on top. But as it is right now, I got to give it to the Crimson Tide. They're just a very formidable squad, and they just know how to be aggressive when it counts.
They do, and I've also got to apologize. It's the University of Montana Grizzlies, not the Bulldogs. The University of Montana Grizzlies is the correct mascot. Thanks, Google, for giving me that misinformation, and I'm literally studying that in English right now, so that's just unfortunate for me. I'm going to get a bad grade in that class probably. But I tell you what, we'll change the subject very awkwardly here. Heading into game number 1, we have a fresh clock. These teams are getting ready to clash. And starting it off for Alabama is Wonders from the sky. Runs into Heads along the way into the corner. Cole Baby trying to send it around. They'll get bumped back to where they came from. Buck trying to chase this one down, but Heads passes it up front. Wonders will try to let Buck take it, but it's a miscommunication here that could result in a goal from Crew, but not just yet. Wonders takes it down low, and now Heads trying to chase them down, trying to break up the oncoming attack, but they'll be unsuccessful in it. 30 seconds off the clock. We trade blows every time.
Yeah, we're trading blows, and both teams looking pretty even right now. And these teams could be not faulted for their little wayward accuracy. There was a little bit of downtime getting ready for this matchup right here. But as we get more into each other's rhythm, I really think we're going to see a high-scoring affair.
Yeah, we probably will be as things start to warm up, but Heads is trying to take this one around, look for the fake out on Wonders, but Cole Baby will be there to make up for it. Heads won't make the second touch. Buck getting in the face of their own teammate a little bit here, trying to take things out, but High Crew sends this one up to AZ off the corner and over to Wonders, who fires a shot off the crossbar, and down it goes, but the finish and follow through goes to Cole Baby.
Here's a shot across the bow. The crossbar probably got a save medal for that one, but Cole Baby did the wise thing and went downtown cross pitch. No one got there in time, and that breaks the deadlock 1-0.
It's a great effort from the University of Alabama. 12 seconds expired from the 4-minute mark. Buck takes this down, trying to create some more momentum that they've got going on for them. And I tell you what, you fire shots like that every time, you're going to see a lot of success. Buck tries the cutoff in the midfield. Now Cole Baby up to the crossbar, leaves it out for Heads. Not what they wanted to see. They don't want to dump the ball to the opposition just yet, at least. They need to fire it into the empty space, and they know that. And that's what they're going to do. Cole Baby looks for the corner read for the double tap. They don't need it because they know Buck's got their back, and it's 2-0.
Well, Buck, one shot. This run here wasn't the cleanest, but the fact they were there was all the difference. And it seems to me that Alabama is looking at a 2-0 lead right now, Grant.
Yes, indeed they are. And starting things off for this drive was AZ, but it's given up to Buck. Immediately shot down. Luckily, it hits the crossbar off the back wall. It goes, says the ball. And Heads is taking it over to the corner. And High Crew takes it up for themselves. AZ off the corner and out to a teammate. No, it's going to run into Cole Baby with the interception. Heads gets dunked, and now it's an overarching pass. It might go into the net. The dunk from Buck sends it 3-0 from their second goal.
Buck is like a magnet. Whenever a ball is loose above the rim, Buck is there. And to be unmarked that high up with that kind of lethal attitude may be an Achilles heel in Montana's game currently, because right now we're looking at a 3-0 scoreline, not favoring them, but favoring Alabama.
Yeah, the favorite is really in Alabama's, especially after that double commit, and now Heads has to make up for everything on their own. They handle it well, but a lot of boost being wasted. They'll go to 0 in the tank as Wonders tries to come down, stomp through the defense, but it's not going to happen just quite yet. This one out to the sidewall. Nobody wants to push. They'll let Heads go for it first. Cole Baby in the back for the defense of Alabama. Gets dunked by High Crew, who takes it off the back wall. No teammate to make up for it. There was an opening, just barely, but they'll have to wait for the next attack instead to make the push.
Yeah, a little bit of a stretch out there from Wonders, but I got there just in time. It's okay, but you can't put yourself in a position like that too often, because you will be on their back heel, and that's how teams come back. That's how they get cut deficits, and that's how you give them away.
Yeah, and now we're at the 2-minute mark. Head sends this one through to AZ. What a pinpoint shot. It actually caught the back end of Wonders there, but it goes in. And this is the first goal for the University of Montana.
What did I just say, Grant? You have these offensive plays like that. It's okay to stretch out every once in a while, but you won't want to be in a situation where it takes too long to get back in your defensive formation because you leave yourself wide open for counterattacks. And just like that 3-goal lead is down to 2.
And here comes Heads with the carry again. I'm starting to raise a bit of caution to this one because they're wasting a lot of boost on these pointless air dribble plays in their own corner, their own territory, which can open up a lot of bad things to happen, open up a can of worms that they may not be able to contain. So we need to see a little bit less fancy schmancy play in their half at least. Save it for the offense, save it for the goals and conversions.
Yeah, boost management here has not been the greatest on both teams, but I think both of them have the same game plan, and that is using the middle lane aerial to get some shots off. And so far, it's worked out more for Alabama, but when you have your opponent doing the same thing you're doing, that is a red flag to change. Switch it up.
Well, trying to switch things up is Heads, going for an up-top goal to the top shelf. Excuse me, but Buck will throw this one out to the side. It's Heads out to AZ, and now up top, it's blocked by Wonders. They'll take it down. High Crew might just find a floater in, but Buck is there to make the last second stop. Almost just let an easy goal in. It seemed like they were about ready to give up, but High Crew still has an opportunity. Smells something to cook up. But AZ continues this pressure. This is great to see these rotations because I love pressure so much. If you can build up enough of it, it has to go somewhere. It has to burst.
There's only one thing Grant loves more than a can of worms, and that is pressure. Pressure is what causes you to be more aggressive and more confident while shaking the confidence of your opponent and leaving gaming chances quite like that one. That could have been another one, Grant.
It could have been, and it actually threw me off for a second because I thought AZ was on the opposition, being on the orange team. They have an orange decal. Stop throwing me off, AZ. Quit doing it to me. But we have to turn our attention back to the 3-second game remaining. The ball will float up high, and Heads gets the kill. They don't want to play this one anymore. 3-1 is the score, and you were right. Early on, you identified that Alabama has the upper hand, and it shows here with a scoreline like so.
The scoreline is not really fair to Montana. They play a solid game. They made Alabama look beatable. But like I said, the team right now is just in a unit. Right, I'm looking at Buck being able to pick up those 2 goals to their tally just by being in the right place in the right time. It's the crimes of opportunity are the ones that are harder to catch. And Buck is doing the Lord's work today for Alabama. Now, can they maintain that in game 2? I'm not so sure. If Montana knows what's good for them, they have to use a left and right sides to their advantage, because going down midfield, going down Broad Street, going downtown is not working for them.
Yeah, it's really not. You're right when you say you got to go to the outsides, be a bit more creative. That's something I stress way too much in casting. The more creative you can be, the more you can outsmart your opponent. This goes for really any esport, whether you have an FPS or a sports game like this one in Rocket League. You have to be so much more smarter, so much more creative, all of the above when you're facing off against any team. If you can use those sides, if you can pull off something fancy, maybe from the wall and then go to midfield, I don't know, whatever you do, infield pass play, outfield pass play, whatever, you need to make it happen. You got to get creative. You got to get going.
GrantCFO's straight spitting. This is game 2 of this best-of-5 series, and Alabama has won. And maybe they'll take your advice. Maybe Montana will take your advice. Either way, I think it's golden.
See at all, and Heads not gonna be able to see for a minute after that one. He didn't take it out to the skies, but Haiku sends it right back up into the heavens, and Heads is looking for the double tap. They won't find it. It's blocked by Buck, and they'll take it out to the left wall using these sides, but AZ stopping the traffic, getting in the way, putting themselves up as an obstruction that they're gonna have to avoid going forth.
We got a bit more aggression from Alabama, which is something you don't usually see from a team that's up 1, but that's great. A lot of individual efforts in this first 30 seconds of play, first 40 seconds of play, and I like it because now that puts the pressure on Montana to come up with a new idea to break that defensive stronghold.
Yeah, they kind of know what Alabama is going to do. They just need to use that to their advantage and then create something immediately after. The quicker you can go with your counterattacks after you've figured out this creativity bond that you've got going on, then the more you're going to succeed. So Cole Baby is going to try things out from the corner, actually off the wall in a pinch. Buck takes it down off the 50. AZ up to Haiku. I'm loving how they're starting to find each other, but Alabama is quick to recognize it's all a matter of pace and catching them off guard. They know what's coming at them. They know what to dish out. It's just all about execution from here on out with 3:30 to go.
Yeah, if Alabama's not careful, they can be on the receiving end of an absolute shellacking from Heads specifically, because twice already, Heads was able to split multiple people on the defensive play. His shooting accuracy, or their shooting accuracy, wasn't ideal, so there was no change in score line, but you have to leave someone like that marked at all times.
Yeah, and we'll just let it play out here. Heads from the corner. Buck putting their flag in the ground. AZ sends it up for Haiku. Nobody home on the backboard. They wanted a better shot instead, and Heads is going to have to return to home base here. They actually made the push for it, but it allows their teammate just enough time to get back. AZ waits on the back wall. Cole Baby trying to get a bit fancy, get creative all up in there, but they're not going to find the goal just yet. A lot of just smart plays coming out from these guys, but they cannot outsmart each other in game number 2. Things have straightened up for University of Montana, and that shot actually almost goes in for Alabama.
We got Montana hanging by the goal like a gang underneath the boardwalk looking to cause some damage. And, you know, sometimes you wonder about having so many people back like that, but it worked out for them. All they need is one more person, which I would deputize as Haiku in this situation. This plays a little bit further up, because if a ball comes loose from a clear, you have yourself an open chance at net. And you got to tell you, at this level, open chances at net are golden opportunities. You never let them slip away.
They are golden and punishable, critical criticisms, all of that good stuff. They will be a target, something that can be capitalized on. And as we say it, the opportunity presents itself. But ironically, as we've been saying, nobody scores it. Cole Baby tries to take it up for the double tap, but it's AZ down low. And now big pinch up to the ceiling. Haiku gets the pinch out. They'll clear it long. No, they'll miss the second time. However, Wonders puts it up for a moment, and Heads takes it away. Wonders takes out AZ as well. Haiku on the back wall trying to get off the back foot. AZ finally gets a clear, but it's going to run right into Buck. Here's where we're starting to see University of Montana do a bit of panicking, not really sure on how to get out of their own half anymore. Alabama is turning up the heat. They've got the aggression going. The knob is turning. The pressure is building, and the panic comes after.
Yeah, the game 2 situation, you don't want to be down 2 games in this series, and also you don't want to allow your opponent to come back if you're Alabama. But what we're seeing right now is that it's hard to critique a tie deadlock game, but both teams need to spread out just a little bit more. We're seeing a lot of people worried to play the same flank or somehow be in the same part of the mid-pitch. A little space will do you some good.
Yeah, but here's Haiku almost having it off the side post. They just won't get there in time. Cole Baby with a long carry. AZ almost missed that one. Luckily, they can just dump it to the side as Haiku takes it out. They almost see a 1v1 opportunity, but the misdirection was there from Buck. Now up to the back wall and out. 19 seconds to go. Any goal here could end what we see play out. It's Wonders with a great clear out, but they wanted the shot instead. I think they may have gotten a bit confused as I did, but Cole Baby stops it in the midfield. High Crew coming in for one more shot. Heads could have gone for the takeout on Buck or Wonders there, but they're just going to allow Buck one more opportunity. They don't get the flip reset. Wonders comes in for a shot, but we've got overtime.
Within inches of having another victory, we have ourselves an overtime situation. Grant's next goal wins this game. Pressure's on for both squads, and hard to call this one. I'm still giving it a little bit to Alabama, but that's not to count Montana out too, because they have them on the heels right now.
Yeah, Alabama just feels like they get faster and more aggressive in your face as time progresses. They get scary, I'll tell you what. But Montana, you're right. We can't count them out because here comes Heads. The drop down angle wasn't quite there. AZ tries their hand at it, but they'll leave their third man all alone as the pressure and the attack lurks around the corner for Alabama. Up to the back wall. No one home. They'll take it for themselves. Cole Baby with a shot, but High Crew takes it out. Now it's their turn. Wonders up for the save. It's blocked by Buck instead and tries to keep it going, but they just cannot. They'll have to wait a few more seconds.
You had two attempts, one from each team that was essentially in the net, and the game was over. But credit to both teams' defense now having the concentration, among other things, to keep it at a deadlock. Over a minute now, fatigue starts to set in. Your brain starts to wonder about something else. What do we have to do? What do we have to try that's different? What could we do to confuse our opponent? And that's how great teams are separated from elite teams, because it comes down to creativity.
Yeah, and here comes Cole Baby with a flip reset, getting fancy, getting creative, doing what we've told them to do. They didn't even need it from us. They're probably not even listening, but I tell you what, folks at home, you better listen up because Alabama is screaming through game 2.
Flip reset, nothing's going to stop me. That was a fantastic shot. They probably using the GrantCFO training packs, because that was picture perfect. Creativity matters, and that has been the difference in this series. Both teams are solid. They're great. They're way better than I am when it comes to teamwork and all that jazz. But creativities win the day, and University of Alabama is one game away from saying roll tide. If you're Montana, you're in the danger zone now. What do you have to do?
You gotta get fierce. You are the Grizzlies after all. You gotta be like a grizzly bear. You gotta get up in the face of Alabama, who just keep on pushing, and they keep pushing you together. They get you clumped up in your half, but you gotta play quicker than that. You gotta get your mind to think faster. You know you're playing a tough team, and if you can match their pace, then they're gonna have a tougher time scoring you. They did great. Montana did great in game number 2 here, but they've got game 3 to look onto. They are on the verge of a 3-0 sweep. They could get swept. They could be out right now. It could all come to an end, but there's still time to fight, and they know it.
Yeah, just playing a little bit of that armchair quarterback. If Haiku was able to drop back and allow AZ to manipulate some more of the mid-pitch, Haiku could be your defensive engine to feed Heads, because Heads is rocking right now. It just needs support from the teammates to get rid of some of the defense, the pesky defenders on the Alabama side, and that can change the tide. But it's all about momentum, we say, and Alabama has that in spades.
Oh, they really do, but Heads not letting up just yet. High Crew sends one down and blocked away by Bucket. Goes out to the corner. Heads back to AZ. Now up to the corner one more time, trying another turn at it. But it's Wonders who throws this one away, pushing in to enemy lines. High Crew off the back wall, looks for the ceiling. They won't find the makeup shot, but Heads knew they had space. Great communication there, and whatever, it's a great job, and 30 seconds have gone by the wayside. Alabama finds a great connection, but it's wide to the right one more time. Shooting accuracy becoming a bit of a problem, something that could get on the nerves of Alabama, but you know what? I don't sense many nerves here from the Crimson Tide.
No, it's definitely an idea of clock management. You see, once you have an overtime game in a series, there is a little bit of a cool down period, typically between two teams if they're all around the same caliber. And so you probably see the whole idea of a cat playing with his food, not to be frank, not to be crass. I think Alabama's doing it right now. But if they keep doing that, they may open up the chance of leveling the series with their opponents. So if I'm Alabama now, you got to keep their aggressive nature, try using the left and right flank to your advantage. It doesn't work out when you go that way, and stick with it.
Oh.
And maybe you might have a goal to your tally. Wonders breaks the deadlock in game 3.
This is what you're talking about. Alabama has just such a poise to their play style. Flicking it over the top is Wonders. Yeah, you heard me. Boys, they've got it going for them. They've got something. I'll tell you what, we're breaking out the fancy words to describe Alabama because, frankly, I'm starting to have trouble finding words for it, Novanta.
Yeah, if you're looking at Montana now, you're staring at the door of being completely shut out. And Heads got demoed for his trouble or her trouble. But the idea is this. You're understanding that the edges of your goal are somehow the weakest part of the defense, right? You can get there in time to clear up mid-pitch. But when someone comes in the bottom corners, you're somehow are not getting there in time. So what you got to do is eliminate that threat completely and try to get your face in front of a shot. Don't even give it up the chance. It's up to you now to put more demos out there. It's up to you now to get in Alabama's face. You have nothing to lose now. It's do or die time. Let's go.
It is 3 minutes on the clock as the pace quickens here. Alabama have been on the prowl for minutes, games even. 2-0 is the scoreline now as Wonders looks to continue that momentum that they've had. Buck will take over here, now pushing it out to midfield. Great block and stop by Heads. It's out one more time for Cole, baby. They won't be able to capitalize, but here comes the pressure. Buck looking for the angles. It's just wide of the net, and it goes out here. 30 seconds. That was all Alabama.
Gold medal for effort there. That is something that takes a lot of skill and concentration, but sometimes that goal tends to be like the size of a thimble or a needle that you have to thread it, and it worked out for him that time.
No, it did not really, but they came so close. And, we have to turn our attention to University of Montana right now, who are sitting down 1 goal and on match point. They cannot afford to lose this, especially after coming off of an already 0-3 loss from last week in week number 2 here. They've got a chance for redemption. They know this is their second shot, and of course they'll get more as the weeks go on, but they would love to get it now, even just a game off of Alabama. But so far the story has been they're struggling to manufacture really anything against such a quick and looking dominant team from Alabama. So they've got to get something going. I'm not even sure what it is. I'm not at this level quite yet, but there is something missing, and I'm on the lookout for it.
It's kind of hard to say because we're watching cars on the pitch, but there is a human element to this. When you have a game you had in your hand that you're supposed to win and you don't, the next week you got to basically start at 0 with your confidence. And a lot of these shots, a lot of these mechanics, a lot of these rotations are good, but just a half a step behind, which somehow, what I would say, infers hesitation when it comes to Montana.
Maybe you're right there. There is always a human element in anything that we play here, and now it's just gonna keep going downhill for Montana. Buck, again, that player you've been looking out for, Novanta, rightfully so, because just look at them. They can capitalize on nearly everything that is given to them, and now they take it up 2-0, and that is their first goal of this game.
3 goals in, and there's only 1 goal that looked like it was going to be a picture-perfect, majestic one that actually went in. All these goals have been second chances, these scruffy goals, and a lot of the culprits there are Buck and Buck's positioning. So the idea that you're a team allowing a second shot on goal after a rebound is something you have to work on the training ground. But I would say it's been fortunate for Alabama. They're up 2-0.
Yeah, you're right there. And UMT has been struggling a little bit as well with the way that they're able to find connections. It just seems non-existent so far from game to game, and especially now in game 3, they've just been dwindling away, withering away with their confidence. Maybe that human element is coming through, but Alabama hasn't lost a step in their stride. Nothing can break it, but here's an opportunity for Montana, blocked away. Unfortunately, it's gonna be the last one as 10 seconds ticks away. It is 5 seconds to glory for Alabama. They pick up another 3-0 sweep. They are your victors here on NECC week number 3.
Roll Tide. It seemed that Alabama still has some shooting accuracy issues that's plagued them so far in this season, but they get the job done here tonight in 3 straight games. Congratulations, Alabama and Montana. You played a good game, just wasn't your night.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was not. But goodness gracious, I don't ever think I've seen such an unrelenting team before. Alabama, game one, they took a little bit of time to warm up, but then they just started going at it. Game two, same thing, except minus the warm up. They kept it going. Game three, game two, the knob was just cranking slowly over time, distortion in the waters all around. And then game three came through. They were just at this pace the whole time, off the charts. I couldn't even keep up. It's like in my music production brain, I imagine a compressor, right? There's so much signal going through at once, but it's just a ceiling, just like, get down, stop that right now.
True.
Absolutely insane. What a great team.
Positioning was great. Rotations were solid. It's just the speed. The Alabama was the quickest team, and they won because of it. And if you're Montana, I'm not sure if that's a drill situation or just a confidence situation. Just maybe wasn't feeling your night today. But you have to get faster if you want to compete, especially as a team as formidable as the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, you got to play against fast teams. You got to go up against tough competition. You have to think faster. That was really the main issue. Everything was solid. They just need to think way faster to get themselves out of these difficult situations. And we hope to see that from them. We hope to see that growth. This was a really fun game to watch and a better one to cast, I tell you, Novanta. Thank you for joining me in the booth. I'm pretty sure you've got another series coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sure do. Going to be hanging with the Lars Newt.
Oh, baby, I can't wait to see that. Two of my favorite casters to watch. Y'all better stick around, but we're going to go to a bit of a break. Yes, that's where we're going. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it.